How's it going, everyone? And in this video we're going to be talking about how you can do linear regressions using Python, and the end result will be graphs like the one we can see here to the right. And so the very first thing I've done is I've input two lists into Python. These lists both have the same number of elements in them. These have 100 elements each, and to begin with, I've already typed this in, and I'll be providing this code on GitHub so you can view the repo and copy paste and change whatever you'd like later. But we're going to be making use of three packages: matplotlib to actually visualize our plots. We're going to be using sklearn's linear model, specifically the linear regression class, in order to create a linear regression to get us these trend lines. And then finally, we're going to be using NumPy, and this is so that we can format our lists in Python into objects that sklearn's linear regression can actually like them. So if you don't do NumPy, you're going to run into some problems down the road. You can play around with the script yourself, but you'll see why we need NumPy in a sec. And so I've got the data right here. I've got our two lists. And so the very first thing that I'm going to be doing here is declaring a NumPy array. So I'll just declare a variable called x, and this will be numpy.array, and then we're going to be grabbing pen ID as our x variable or pen index, just for this sample data set. And then next we're going to be declaring an array in NumPy called y. So I'm just going to be doing the same thing here. This I'll be grabbing the cumulative cell count from for that. And next, what we need to do, and this is the reason why we need to create these NumPy objects, is reshape these arrays in Python, and that's for sklearn's linear regression model. So what I'm going to be doing here is just saying x gets x dot reshape and then -1, 1. So now we're able to make use of the reshape method that NumPy has allowed us to do to get our array into a format that sklearn will recognize. Now we can actually call and declare a linear, or I'll call it a linreg object, and we're going to basically create an object from this linear regression class. So you need those two parentheses at the end of it. And now we can declare an object and say linreg.fit and supply in our x and y lists, or these are now arrays that it can recognize. And now we can declare something else called a trend line. So based on this object, if I just run this code up to this point, let me do a little print statement here so we can see what happens up to here. This object will contain attributes, and so if we pull up this object, we can see that it has a coefficient, and so this coefficient is that slope of the line that it thinks is the best fit. And you can also see that it's finding this intercept here as well. And so sometimes that is wanted, other times that isn't wanted. In my case, I don't want an intercept that isn't 0. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a parameter into my linear regression object, and this one is going to be called fit intercept, and we're going to set this to false. So that means do not try to do anything other than 0 is basically what we're saying in that line. And now if I just rerun this just so we can prove we're not crazy, we'll see that our intercept then becomes 0. And if we open up this object, we've now got a 0 intercept, and we've got a coefficient, which in the line y equals mx plus b, m is that slope, this is that coefficient m. So it's telling us that our line has a positive 0.32 slope. And so we've now done this, and so if we actually wanted to visualize this data, what we're going to be doing now is something else that's pretty cool. If you're doing this for your homework or whatever, or some project, you can have a trend line show up on your plots. And so trend line would get, and we can say linreg.predict, and you just supply in the same x array that you have. So basically what this is doing is it's creating an additional set of outputs based on the trend line that we've just created, this y equals mx plus b thing that's been defined. And now I'm just going to call the plot function, so plt.plot, and I'm going to pass in x and y. I'm also going to plot the trend line on this, so x comma trend line, and I'll say this is color gets red so that we can differentiate between the two. And because we're good scientists / engineers, we're going to actually show the X label, and this X label is going to be the pen index, and then we're also going to show the Y label, and this is going to be the cumulative sum of cell counts. And then finally we're going to call plot.show, and I don't need this breakpoint anymore. So now when I stop and rerun this program, we're going to see a beautiful chart momentarily, and there you have it. And so if you wanted to figure out what was the slope / what was the intercept, you can get that pretty easily by just calling that attribute for this thing. So for the linreg object that we've just defined, once we've fit this linear trend line to it. So what we can do in that case is we can say slope gets linreg dot, and then this will have some, I think it was, I have to check, we just put a breakpoint right here. So we're going to do print, rerun this thing. So coefficient, and this is an n array. So we can say the slope will be equivalent to linreg dot coefficient, and maybe it's the 0th element because it appears to be an array. So let's see how that does. Yep. Okay, so you've got your slope and getting your y-intercept. If you didn't set it to false, as we did when we created our object, you could do that by referencing the parameter referred to as intercept underscore from your linreg object after you've performed your fitting function. So that is going to wrap things up for this video. I hope it helps. Thank you all for watching, and take care.